Well, welcome everyone. My name is Jacob. Thank you for joining me. In the previous series of videos, we examined 6 different hunting map applications and really rated them on their value and versatility. If you haven't looked at those videos, I encourage you to do so. We went really in depth in terms of looking at tools and layers and all sorts of features that these different hunting map applications offer. But now we're going to be looking at applications or websites that help us as hunters, especially when we're looking at new ground, or if I'm headed out west or if I'm headed to some other eastern state, who knows? We're going to evaluate some of those tools, and instead of looking for things that might apply to scouting or actual hunting, we're trying to understand foot traffic and where is the foot traffic most likely to be using these non-hunting related apps. They're more related to hiking or mountain biking or trail running or those sorts of things. If we can get a sense of where the foot traffic is or the highest density of it as it relates to the area that we're hunting, then we can either avoid that or use that to some advantage of some sorts. So what we're going to do in this really short video is look at a couple resources that are free. Now you can upgrade to their pro levels, but really you can use the free versions and get a lot of intel to help you with your respective hunt. The first one here, as you can see, is FatMap. The second one is MTB Project. All Trails is an app that maybe some of you are already familiar with. The Dyrt, which is another app and website that we'll take a look at. And then there is a bonus at the end of a website that I encourage you all to use or leverage depending on your respective situation. So hopefully you find this helpful and insightful. And certainly if you do, please like the video, subscribe to my channel. There'll be more content of this nature that I'll share in the future. And then you can find me on J_Coons_hunts for some other resources that I have for free on my profile. There's a link tree in my profile, and you can download, for example, the cheat sheet for the hunting map application. You can download that for free, and there's other resources there as well. So let's dive in, and we'll start with FatMap. Really, from the get-go, before I even get into some of the tools, if you go into the 3D feature of FatMap, I mean, you can see it's very, very clean. But this is, as I mentioned, outside of Steamboat Springs, or it is Steamboat Springs. This is Unit 14 in Colorado. Again, not trying to blow up anybody's spot or anything like that, but just trying to use an example that's sort of exaggerated in a way, because there's a lot of recreational use in this area, and you could certainly hunt this area, but it's a lot of recreational use as well. So it's a great example for the purposes of these different apps and websites. And so with FatMap, you can see on the left-hand side here a lot of different activities that they're focusing on. It's hiking, mountain biking, road biking, trail running, skiing, freeride skiing, a lot of different things that are not in the hunting space, obviously, or hunting related. So if we let's take a look at mountain biking. Here you see this trail has popped up, and the Continental Divide Trail. If I want to take a look at other trails as I move, Boneyard is, I believe, further south and not within the frame of the picture here. But as we move throughout Colorado, we'll be able to start to see some of those things. If I zoom further out, which I'm not going to for the purposes of this, but here we see, probably a very popular bike trail, and let's click on that. It looks like we have some images, which is helpful for our purposes of understanding what the terrain looks like, and that'll be something that we do with some of the other apps or websites that we look at. If we click out of mountain biking, we can click on hiking here. We see a different trail. This is, I don't know if this is Rabbit Ears Peak or, Pass, sorry. And here we can look at some of the pictures again, giving us an idea of what what some of the terrain looks like. But I think ultimately we want to get a sense of where are the trails, where is the human traffic, because we kind of want to avoid that. And again, this is sort of an exaggerated example. Uh, if we zoomed out and moved to a different part of Colorado, you might see more or less of these sorts of things. But FatMap, it's I think this is again the free version. They offer the 3D for free, which is nice. For $29.99, you get live snow layers, a terrain tool, lift status, and mobile route planning. But again, for our purposes, we just want to understand what other human traffic is taking place when we're hunting a particular zone or unit. So let's move off of FatMap into the MTB project, I guess Mountain Bike Project. And so this is a crowdsourced mountain bike guide. Folks that are deep into the mountain bike space can earn points, and they leave reviews and photos and comments. And so again, this is just outside of Steamboat Springs, and I can click on a trail and get a sense of its popularity and some of let's go ahead and we'll click on Mount Werner, and we get a sense of some of the terrain, which looks very elky to me. And if we dig into it, if we look at, say, the number of reviews as maybe some sort of a barometer of popularity, that might be able to give us a sense of what the traffic is. Or we want to use this bike trail for our purposes, then that's not a bad thing either. We may be hunting in a particular area. There's a bike trail that interests us, that it'll help us get to an area that we feel like has less human traffic. Then this is a great tool to use. This is also available in an app, just as FatMap was. This is also available in an app, and this is free. It's crowdsourced. They also have other projects that we're not going to spend time on, but they have a hiking project, trail run project, powder project, and mountain project. And each of those is similar in regard to highlighting its crowd-funded or crowdsourced different trails for different activities. So really nice tool here. Let's pivot off of the MTB project and take a look at all trails. And I personally have used all trails myself when I'm doing family activities. So a lot of our hunting apps, and as I mentioned, I've done a review of a lot of them, whether it's Onyx or Hunt Stand or HuntWise or whatever. A lot of them have trails that a trail setting or a trail layer. So we can get a lot of this information. But again, what we're looking for is human traffic and understanding where are the most people going to be or not going to be, or what trails we want to avoid. So as we scroll down here, as you can see, this Thunderhead hiking trail is 4.5 out of, I guess, 5. And you can see there's 550 reviews, and all trails will rank these sites by their star rating. So if you see below it, Creekside Trail gets 4.3 stars, and I assume again that's out of 5. So what we know is that this trail, Thunderhead Trail, is the most popular in this area. And so as we scroll down, if I'm hunting this particular unit or some other unit in Colorado, again, I'm using an exaggerated example, I'm going to try to find one that's really not that popular. I take that back. Here we see some other ones that are even more popular. So here we go. This is the one. Well, that's it's not going to work either, because that's right next to the it looks like right next to where the housing is, or the hotels, or the lodge, or what have you. But ultimately, you get the idea here, is that you can use this to get a sense of popularity. Now, this one only has 32 reviews. This has 41. So I guess the way that they're rating them is based on the number of reviews, not the overall star rating, which I had thought was the case as I first examined this. So my apologies there. So let's take a look at some of the images. again, this is a ski resort outside of Steamboat Springs. So um, I was hoping to get some pictures here, but it doesn't look like we're able to do that. So ultimately, for all trails for $35.99, this is what we're looking at is free. But for $35.99, you can download maps. You have a wrong turn alert. You can find trails based on where you are located. So if I'm standing somewhere and I want to find a different trail, there's 3D trail view, which I've actually played around with, and I really was impressed. It kind of shows you the trail as you go up the mountain, and you can print maps. But again, it's $35.99, and I don't know if it's necessary to spend that sort of money. Here we go. We can see some pictures from different trails as we just click through here. Yeah, I might give you a sense. Certainly, we can look at comments and get a sense of what people thought. Maybe if they saw wildlife, we could take note of that. So they do have a few layers here that you can play around with. You can see here at the pro level, you can get light pollution and air quality and weather and a heat map. And then within the free setting, you get a range of USGA topo and some other mapping. But we're not gonna spend a lot of time on that because that's not the purpose of this particular video. So, and again, we want to keep it cheap. We want to keep it free, and just get the information that's important. So here we're going to move to the pivoting away from All Trails to the Dyrt, which is a campground website. And so again, you have this is just outside of Steamboat Springs, and as we move the cursor along the page here, you can see different campsites. Some of them have reviews, some of them don't. Some of them, you can see this Grizzly Creek guard station maybe is $55 a night. And so again, where is what is most popular? Here's Dumont Campground with 9 reviews. It's $12 a night, and it's all 5 stars. Is that an area that I want to camp? Certainly we might be able to find that. Or are we looking for an area to get away from people? And again, as we zoom out here, it's going to populate the map, and you can see this could be really helpful. You can see across the state of Colorado here. And again, as we zoom in, the website is updating the most popular campgrounds. And again, we can use this as hunters to determine, all right, maybe this is an area that's going to get a lot of pressure from people, or maybe this is an area that I would like to camp or avoid altogether. So I think, again, this is free. For $35.99, you can go get the Pro version. It allows you to have offline maps, public land, self-service maps, and discounts on gear. And but again, this is a great deal of information for free, and I think it can really be really helpful as you plan your Western hunt. And lastly, but not least, a lot of ski resorts have live cams. And so here, Steamboat Mountain webcams, let's just say I'm going out for a late season hunt of some sort, and I want to really see what the snow level looks like. I want to understand what's going on from a weather standpoint. I mean, it's one thing to see it on a weather app, or to get some sort of news feed, or to use some sort of mapping tool that gives you snow levels, which a lot of them are starting to do more and more often, or precipitation levels. Here we can actually see a live view. Now it looks like they're doing a lot of construction here, but obviously in a few months, when weather starts to turn, or really in a few weeks, it'll give us a live view as to what this area looks like. Now, again, this is an exaggerated version. Where you're going hunting in the West, there may not be a ski resort, and this may not be exactly helpful, but it can give you an idea. If you are headed to a general region, it can give you an idea of what the weather's looking like, what the traffic's looking like. Even, I'll mention, I don't have it pulled it up here, but a lot of news stations will have traffic cams, live traffic cams. If you think of like major metropolitan areas, I'm sure like a Salt Lake City or a Denver or a Boise, Idaho. I think of those cities probably have some sort of news station that has some sort of traffic cam, and also you can use that to get some intel as to what the weather looks like in real time. Well, that concludes this video. I hope that you found it helpful. I would encourage you to check out those websites and apps yourself and play around with them. Get some intel for your next Western hunt. And again, you're looking for foot traffic from the general public. And those of us that hunt make up a very small percentage of the overall population. So you're looking for foot traffic, trying to avoid that as much as possible. So if you like this video, please like it. Please subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. I'll have more content of this nature. And find me on Instagram, J_Coons_hunts. I mentioned it earlier, and I'll mention it again. I have free resources there in the link tree, and love for you to follow me there for additional resources in the future. Best of luck in your hunt, and look forward to connecting with you all sometime in the near future. All the best.